Hey guys, it's Cece, and I just made a fairly impulsive decision to begin a readathon. So this morning, I opened up my phone and I looked on Twitter. That's kind of like the thing I do when I wake up in the morning, and discovered that RYBSAT had begun. So RYBSAT, in case you don't know, is the Read Your Bookshelf-a-thon. I will leave all the info about readathons and everything down in the description below, but the reason I didn't do a TBR for this is that I didn't realize it was happening, and also my go-to line for readathons when I'm at school is, I don't do readathons when I'm at school. If you are a person in school, I think you understand this urge to just say, it's not happening, I'm at school. And if you're not, and you know someone who's at school, go to them and give them a hug and maybe a warm meal. If you have a person in your life who's at college, they would really appreciate it. But I've randomly decided to join the Read Your Bookshelf-a-thon. It's apparently a thing that's happening now. So, TBR. Actually, first, the dates. It's beginning today, March 27th, and going until April 10th. So there is two weeks. 2 weeks of readathon time. Woo! And also right now my TBR shelf is a bit of a mess. I'm reassembling it, I'm rearranging it for Easter. I always rearrange my shelves so that I can do kind of like a holiday display of sorts. So I've just taken down all the books I'm gonna read, and we'll figure out what that shelf's gonna look like later, but this is my TBR. So I'm just gonna kind of go through it for you. Currently, I'm reading Invasion of the Tierling. I didn't know I was starting this readathon, so I didn't finish this in time, but I have about 100 pages left. Then I'm hopefully going to be reading Thanks a Lot, John LeClaire by Joanna Pankhurst. I was supposed to finish this before the month of March ends. I think I have time. It's hockey. Yeah. After that, I'll hopefully be diving into The Fate of the Tierling by Erica Johansson and finally finishing off this trilogy. Then we have How to Hang a Witch by Adriana Mather, which I was also supposed to read in March, but I'm definitely not going to get to in March, so beginning of April. We're getting into some stuff now that I don't know that I'm going to be finishing by the time RYBSAT ends, but I wanted to be sure. So the next thing I have is Look Both Ways by Allison Cherry. YA Contemporary, I'll be able to finish this in a day or two. We also have American Street by E.B. Zoboy. This is a new release that I just picked up. Again, YA Contemporary, pretty quick finish. And then, who knows, maybe I'll even get to or start Swarm by Scott Westerfeld, Margot Lanigan, and Deborah Biancotti. I'm so behind on this. This came out last September and I haven't gotten to it yet. So this is my RYBSAT TBR, the readathon that I'm suddenly joining. We'll see how this goes. Okay, so at the end of day 1 of RYBSAT, I have officially finished Invasion of the Tierling, which doesn't count for much technically since I only had 100 pages of it, and it's a really long book, but at least I finished a book. And then I have started reading Thanks a Lot, John LeClaire, and I'm only about like 18 pages into it. It's not masterful, but I'm hoping it'll at least be cute as I read it. I realized that when I was talking about my TBR at the beginning, I left out a book. I'm going to be reading Caraval by Stephanie Garber on my e-reader. I read on my e-reader at night before I go to sleep, so I will be reading that at the same time as some of these other books, but yeah, those are the things I've accomplished today, and hopefully Thanks a Lot, John LeClaire will go pretty fast. It's like less than 200 pages long, so I think I'll be able to finish it. If not tomorrow, then the next day. So yeah, now I'm gonna go to sleep. Hello. New day, same place, basically. I swear I've moved around a little bit, but still in bed, still working on stuff. Last night I read some of Caraval. I think I got about 8% in. Not too far, but according to my Kindle, it's going to take me another 3 hours to finish the book, which is fine. That should take me about 3 or 4 days then of reading before I go to sleep. So that's how Caraval is going. This morning I woke up, and while I was drinking my coffee in the morning, I was reading Thanks a Lot, John LeClaire again, and I wound up getting to about page 50 of that. It's going really fast. It's not great writing-wise, so I'm just kind of getting through it and hoping that it goes good places, hoping I enjoy the end at least, but today's been kind of a rough day. I've just been really upset today. I've gotten a couple of things that have like really stressed me out or upset me, so I've just been going kind of slow, haven't read that much, haven't done as much homework as I needed to do, but today hasn't been my day. But this afternoon I have to go, and I'm a writing fellow at my university, so I have to go to a class and help out at the workshop and everything, but luckily I don't really have that many classes ever this semester since it's my last semester and I'm mainly focusing on writing my thesis. So I have that to go to tonight, but yeah, that's what Tuesday looks like. Not too much left to do today. And hopefully I will read a bunch more and get most of the way through Thanks a Lot, John LeClair tonight. So, yep. So I didn't vlog last night. Sorry about that, but you may have noticed in my last update, I was not feeling on top of the world. Sometimes that happens. Things are very, very stressful your final year of college, and it all came down to me at once. But if we're just skipping around that and talking about what I read, I just barely this morning finished reading Thanks a Lot, John LeClair. So it's day 3 now of RYBSAT, and that is another book down. I read most of it last night, and then I had about 20 pages left, which I just finished before I started this. It was like fine. It's not well written. I'll say that. I don't think it's particularly well written. It's got a good hockey vibe, and it's got a pretty cute love story, and I think that that's kind of what it has to offer. I did not read any of Caraval last night because, like I said, yesterday was rough, and it got to where I should be opening up my ebook and reading before I went to sleep, and I was like, no, I think I'm gonna watch funny YouTube videos. And you know what? They put me in a much better mood right before I went to sleep, so no Caraval. Right now, I have to get ready for filming. I'm not going anywhere today, so I technically don't have to like put on makeup or do my hair, but I do have to put on makeup and do my hair because I have to film Friday's video. So I just have to plan that real fast. I have my drink here, which I'm going to finish while I am planning that video, and then I'm going to film, and then I have some writing to do. Mostly I have to work on a presentation that I have to give on Friday, a very, very big presentation that's terrifying. I don't know if I told you about it. Basically, I'm presenting the first chapter of my thesis at this huge conference, the New Jersey Women's and Gender Studies Consortium Colloquium, I think. It's a bunch of different colleges in New Jersey all coming together and presenting different women's and gender studies based papers, and I'm presenting the first chapter of my thesis. It's terrifying. So I have to finish that presentation before Friday because that's an all-day event, and Thursday I am in classes all day. And today I'm going to be starting to read The Fate of the Tierling, the final book in the Queen of the Tierling series, which is the only one I haven't read yet. I read Queen of the Tierling and Invasion of the Tierling. I've read them both twice. I was doing a reread, but now it is time to read the book I haven't read in the series yet and find out how it all ends. So I'm very excited about that. But now I have a video to plan, so yeah. Day is over now. I finished up the day and did a bunch of the stuff that I was supposed to do, but not everything. Hi.
I'm tired.
Yeah. We were just about to go to sleep, but I wanted to give you an update. I've got to about page 66 of The Fate of the Tierling. I finally started it. Oh my god. And I'm very excited to find out how the series ends. Janelle knows how the series ends, and she's been dying for me to read it, so excited that I've gotten that far. Yeah? Do you want to say anything? You're reading a book. Do you want to say anything?
I am reading this book. It's Shiny Broken Pieces. It's the sequel to Tiny Pretty Things. It's about ballet and backstabbing. Looks good.
Yeah. So, yeah. I should read Caraval tonight, but I'm not going to because there was this like 45-minute interview reunion thing with the cast of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I'm gonna watch that instead of reading Caraval, and I think that that's a much better decision. So we're gonna go to sleep now, right? Good night. Hey, remember how I said Thursdays are busy? Sorry, they're super busy. So this morning I went a little bit early to grab coffee before class that I am a writing fellow in, and I read a little bit more of The Fate of the Tierling. This is just the dust jacket. The book is in my backpack, which is on my back. So I read just a little bit more of that, and last night I didn't read any of Caraval. I tried to watch the Buffy thing and it didn't work, and it annoyed me, so I started watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I can't explain to you my thought processes, but that's how it worked. I just got a bunch of packages in the mail, which is exciting, and I will show you what those are later, because I got a few books, but right now I have to head off to yet another class that I'm a writing fellow in, and then the next class starts immediately afterwards. It's a 3-hour class, and then I have to go to a networking event for juniors and seniors, so Thursdays. Am I right? Sorry, you guys are getting another fairly quick update. This has just been a very, very busy week. Last night, I stayed up and I read another like 50 or so pages of The Fate of the Tearling. I think I'm on about page 116. I think that's about how far I am in that book. I was staying up because I was also editing my video for today, and as I was editing it in like the middle of the night, I realized that there was a bunch of footage that I didn't finish, like that I'm overlaying, so that's frustrating. But today I'm going to almost an all-day event. I'm going to present my paper today, so I'm going to go to the meetup this morning, then go to one of the presentation groupings, and then I'm going to duck out, and then I'll go back for lunch and my presentation and keynote speech and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm running a little bit late actually as it is. That's just the kind of life I lead. So I have to go now. Hopefully I will read more this afternoon. Okay, I am finally back in my room after a long day of presenting and listening to other people present. My presentation went pretty well. I've presented this paper before, but last time I presented it I had 5 minutes and this time I had 15, so it just meant that I got to go a lot more in depth and I got to talk about my second book that I'm researching, not just my first book. So overall, pretty good experience, and this was also like a preparation because I'm writing an honors thesis. This was the first chapter of my thesis that I presented, so it was like good practice for when I'm going to have to present the rest of my thesis in about a month or so, or less. But yeah, I'm back in my room now and tired and hungry, and I'm waiting for Janelle to get off of work so that we can go and get our Friday night Chipotle. And while I am waiting for her, I am going to read more of Fate of the Tearling, which I haven't touched since this morning since I haven't had time. But I did get the video posted that I was supposed to get posted today, so I feel pleased about that. Literally, as I was filming that update saying I was going to read my book until Janelle texted me that she was off of work, as I was filming that update, Janelle texted me to let me know she's off of work, so never mind, I'm not reading Fate of the Tearling until later tonight. Hello, we are just about to go to sleep, or I am. I think Janelle might already be asleep. You already asleep? Yeah. So we stayed up tonight and we watched some Sailor Moon. We are getting through season 2 of Sailor Moon right now, which is very exciting. And before we did that, I read about 100 more pages of The Fate of the Tearling. So I'm on, hold on. I'm almost to page 200 on Fate of the Tearling, which I'm liking so far. It's taking me a little bit to get into some of the new storylines we're introduced to, but the same thing happened when I originally read Invasion of the Tearling, so I'm not that worried about it. I'm sure I'll get into this new storyline once we get closer to the end. Do you agree with me? Mm-hmm. You think I'll get into it? Yeah. Janelle finished her book.
I finished it yesterday.
You finished it yesterday, so she didn't read anything today. But tomorrow we are going into New York City. We are going to Mocha Fest, which is a whole thing dedicated to art and indie comics and stuff. We have a very, very busy day in New York planned, so you will see lots of that tomorrow. Good morning. We are in New York City. Before we go to Mocha, we are in Washington Square Park so that we can get pictures for Janelle's class. Here, one second. I'm going to turn around so they can stop moving. There you go. See? And so we're here taking pictures for Janelle's class before we go to Mocha. I didn't read anything. I read like 2 pages of Caraval on the train and none last night. Okay, so Washington Square Park got super weird yesterday. We were just there to take pictures, and all of a sudden,
we found out there was this enormous pillow fight happening. So we stuck around and took lots of pictures of the pillow fight. I saw a dog on a skateboard. I think I got a clip of it. There were people dressed as pillows. There were people dressed as gladiators. There was a guy in a chicken mask. It was overall a very weird experience. But after that, we went to Mocha Fest. We actually didn't buy that much. Janelle didn't buy anything, and I only bought 2 things. That's never happened. We are notorious for overspending at Mocha Fest, so it was very strange. But on the way back from the city, I read another like 15% of Caraval, so I'm about 25% of the way through. And I have decided, after talking to some other people on the internet, to DNF it. It's just not very good. It's not very well written. The characters are super uninteresting. It's tropey. The love interest interaction is a little bit painful. And overall, a lot of people are telling me they're sad they wasted the time on finishing it, and I don't want to finish it. So I'm DNFing Caraval, and I'm going to start my arc of a book called It's Always the Husband, which is a thriller that I believe is coming out in May. And then last night, I read to about page 250 of The Fate of the Tearling, and things are still weird and exciting there. So that's it. Now it's Sunday. It's homework day. That's what we have to deal with. But first, we're going to go eat breakfast and get Starbucks before homework.
I started a new book.
Oh, Janelle started a new book. Come here. Come tell us about your new book.
So, as you all know, I finished Shiny Broken Pieces on Thursday. So, I started Girl Child by Tupelo Hossman. It's alright so far. It's written kind of weird. So, we'll see how this goes.
There's your review for Janelle's book. So yeah, we're gonna go get breakfast and then start homework.
Okay, it is the end of the day on Sunday, and we just had our reading time, and I read another like 60 or so pages of The Fate of the Tearling. So I'm on about page 300. Think I have some theories about how the book's going to end. And Janelle is recommending I keep an open mind, but I think it is headed towards one of my least favorite tropes in all of fiction. So that's a bad sign. But I'm trying to keep an open mind. Tonight I'm going to start a new ebook since I gave up Caraval, and I'm going to start reading It's Always the Husband by Michelle Campbell, which is going to come out May 16th. It's a thriller. Janelle really wants to read it, so I can tell her if it's going to be good or not. How's your book going?
It's just not grabbing my attention. Like, it's written in a very specific way, but it just doesn't work for me.
What way is it written? Like,
very confusingly.
Like disjointedly?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, those are our updates on reading, and I think for now I'm going to close off this first week of RYBSAT. Otherwise, this vlog would be like years long by the time I came to the other end. So this has been week 1 of RYBSAT. I have finished Invasion of the Tearling, and thanks a lot, John LeClaire, and gotten a good way through Fate of the Tearling, and DNF'd Caraval. That is your summary of week 1 of RYBSAT. So if you are participating in RYBSAT, I hope the readathon is going well for you so far, and hopefully this week I'll finish Fate of the Tearling and get through a few other books. So yeah, let's go to sleep. Good night.